All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. Big episode today as we are officially 7 days away from the National in Chicago. So we have a lot to get to with regards to the National. Tons of Q&A, so stay tuned for that. We do have Play of the Week this week, so we'll be bringing that back. We'll have latest launch. We'll talk about some of this week's upcoming releases. And, of course, the usual. We'll start with what's on your mind. Ty, I got to start with you after a big weekend in the sports world for my guy Ty. So we'll start with you this weekend because I've been looking forward to hearing your thoughts on Carlos Alcaraz and Wimbledon.
I wish it was bigger. I wish I was sitting on a stack of the NetPro cards that I, yelled about to the highest of hills. Now all of Wimbledon was super, it was a really good tournament. Let's do Chris Eubanks, 27, maybe 28-year-old American, went furthest, kind of came out of nowhere. There's two big American names, Taylor Fritz, Francis Tiafoe, that bowed out earlier. As we head to the U.S. Open, you should kind of pay attention to those names. But yeah, it all culminated. I mean, the Alcaraz's quarterfinals, Alcaraz. It's like Ibiza. It's like Ibiza. Like it's Alcaraz, actually.
That's good to know.
It's Alcaraz.
I'll be making that adjustment for sure.
Yeah. So we got to start. He deserves it now. There's enough interviews. It's Alcaraz. It's like if you know, you know. His quarterfinal match, he tossed my guy, the Dane Holger Rune, in 3 sets, and then in the semis, I think it was insane. He just dumped this dude Medvedev,
That was rough.
number 3 seed, just dumped him in 3 sets like it was nothing. And then that final was electric. I mean, anytime you get top tier quality sports from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the same go on a Sunday is pretty proper. And the quality was just absurd. And even if you don't know tennis, watching it, you were probably like, this is something special. And then for him to go and win, it was electric. There was one game, I think, in the third set at 3-1 that was 28 minutes long.
It was insane. It was forever.
It's just the way that these guys get to the ball is ridiculous. It was pretty special. And for anyone that's sitting on those cards, it was definitely a big boost. And now you go into the U.S. Open, last major of the year. It'll kick off, I think, at the end of August for about 2.5 weeks into September. Is always a good time. Party over in Queens on the hard court. It'll be those two guys vying for it again.
Are you going to go, Ty?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try and get over there.
I think I want to go too.
Rune. I want to see Iga on the women's side. She's pretty cool, and it's always a fun night. Early on, you can go and just catch a lot of the matches out on the grounds, and then as it gets later, I think it's Billie Jean King, I think is the stadium. But yeah, I'm pumped for that. Get a little honeydew or whatever they call the drink where they put the melon, the little Tito's. It was a good time. And
it's a great drink.
Yeah. And other than that, the Women's World Cup I'm excited about. That kicks off on Friday. The U.S. women play Friday night at 9. I think their first 2 games are at 9 p.m., even though it's down in Australia. And then they do a 3 a.m. And then you got the last golf major coming up this weekend, the Open. And it's looking like Rory is pressing as much as he can to bring that thing home. But it should be a pretty good battle. So, yeah, it's summer sports, dog days of summer. I definitely think Summer League provided a little bit of juice there for a half a second. And Wimbledon was pretty electric for me. And now we're back to nothingness.
Disagree.
Ohtani has 35 bombs. I know that.
Dude's electric.
Yeah.
35 bombs, and they're under 500, and they're going to finish third in the division.
Lou, what's on your mind?
Okay, so Barbie comes out next week. Barbie and I was going to say Oppenheimer come out next week. How is it possible there haven't been a lot more big Barbie memorabilia sales in the last couple weeks?
Yeah, I agree.
Isn't that strange? Like Barbie is such a big property. Yes, reminder, no curses today because we're on the family friendly card collector page. Last week I messed that up multiple times. I won't let that happen again.
Well, they've
Barbie.
also done such a good job marketing the movie in all these
Yeah, they
different
have.
like pockets of culture, and like I would have figured there would have been just like some sort of Barbie set.
You know what's
That
funny
would've
is I have
been
not. Maybe it's a TV I'm watching, but like I have not seen one Barbie commercial. And
Really?
I've seen 10 Oppenheimer commercials. 10.
Well, are you watching sports TV?
Yeah, I mean sports or finance. I mean that's all it's on. Is just like,
for dudes that they're not going to show the Barbie commercial.
yeah,
Like,
sure.
Yeah,
I'm not.
get a
I
little
mean,
Bravo
I'm
in
not
your life,
watching
bro.
like what do you watch? Like
Facts.
HGTV, like MTV. Like I'm not. Whatever. I don't know. Like
I
I'm
mean,
not watching that.
new season
Well,
of Real
Barbie
Housewives
life.
of New York came out yesterday.
Yeah.
I watched that. There was the Barbie commercial. I don't know what to
Yeah,
say.
makes sense. Respect.
But so I just wanted to look it up, and I was looking into like what has sold, what is available, what is out there. Golden and Heritage both, I couldn't find anything outside of like some really old comics, which I didn't even know existed. There was Barbie comics in the early 60s, which was pretty cool. And then I saw some like first edition dolls sold on eBay for like $7,000-8,000, which is kind of crazy. 1959 Barbie doll sold for like 10 grand, pretty crazy. But I thought there would be some sort of, haven't they done a bunch of like special editions and this, that, and third, like Beanie Babies has all that stuff. But Barbie doesn't. Very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Just something that
my
came
sister
across
had them when I was a kid, but that's about it.
Your sister had them when you were a kid. I'm sure. Like is Reg a big Pokemon person? Barbie person.
No.
Interesting. Maybe it's not as.
We had
Maybe
a
it
lot
wasn't
of
as
them
big as
here.
I thought. But maybe
It was big. It was big. People were.
You know what I'm saying, though, Ty? Right? Like I thought there'd be
Yeah.
something because normally with every kind of big cultural something, there's some sort of memorabilia attached to it that sells for a lot of money, and we see it posted on Instagram, and that hasn't happened.
Yeah, I think it was big, but I don't think it remained. It mattered in time, like things that were big, like Pokemon did. Like, you know,
I don't know. Barbie, I think, is up there. I think Barbie's up there. I think it was.
When have you heard about Barbie outside of this movie in the last 10 years?
Well, it just
Never. This is the moment
always
that this is
matters.
the thing.
Yeah, but it's a brand that matters. Like,
Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm not sure it's like the craziest thing in the world.
I'm not saying it's the craziest thing in the world. I'm surprised by the lack of.
You know what it seems like?
Memorabilia
It seems a little bit flash in the panty.
It is. It may be a little bit flash in the panty, but I will say Margot Robbie, love Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling,
Yes.
love Ryan Gosling. I am locked in for that movie.
Yeah.
I think the last time we used flash in the panty, the only time we've ever really used it on this show, it was
the best baseball player of all time.
The worst take ever.
Ohtani and Barbie flash in the panty.
The best baseball player.
So that just means Barbie is going to crush. Lou, which one will have a bigger opening weekend?
Oh, that's tough. I think Barbie.
Really?
Barbie and Oppenheimer. I think Barbie will be bigger. There's way more coolness attached to Barbie than there is to Oppenheimer. So I think like little girls and like all like families are going to go see Barbie. Apparently, it's a family-friendly movie, which is crazy to me, but it will be. So it's going to do a lot. It's going to sell a lot of tickets.
Speaking of family friendly, as we mentioned earlier, we are on Card Collector 2 YouTube channel this week. No 137. Still working on getting the 1:37 p.m. YouTube channel back up. So for now, the video content continues to live on my YouTube page. So shout out to everybody who watched last week's episode and is coming back this week. Shout out to the day one listeners still listening as well. But again, just for anybody looking for the video content, that's where it's at.
Shout out.
On my mind this week, the biggest card show in the world is 7 days away.
I had to book my flights.
Yeah, one of the things I was thinking is...
Might be the last time you have the ability to say it's the biggest card show in the world, by the way.
Based on another topic we're going to get to.
We'll get into that here in just a second. But at the moment, the biggest card show in the world will be in Chicago, Illinois this weekend. One of the things I was thinking about, we've been talking about, if we go, content, a lot of that kind of stuff. And, one of the things I think I'm surprised by is I'm surprised there's not more marketing and press from companies around what they're doing that week. I think that's the biggest surprise to me so far is I think that's one of the things I've noticed Fanatics has done a good job of so far is like, hey, we got this MLB debut patch. It's going to be really, really cool. We don't even know when it's coming, and it's already generated buzz about it. Like, there's been some talk. I know PSA's got a couple things out there. I know Beckett has pricing on their website for what they're doing, but like silver packs at the National I've been to the last 14, 15. Like Panini silver packs are awesome. They're a big hit. Like what do those look like? What are the boxes? Like what are Topps and Fanatics going to do? They had zero cool last year with Stranger Things cards. Do they have any of those things coming up? Like I think you could really generate more buzz around like those type of things. And like, I don't know why. I guess I would be curious from their perspective, because clearly I'm missing something here because I haven't seen a ton of it, but there's got to be some reason these companies aren't doing it, because it doesn't seem to really be out there. So I think I'm surprised by that. But yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Hoping to get out there for, day or two. We'll see how long we're out there, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
I think it might be still a little bit early to talk about what's happening in Chicago.
7 days.
I think maybe Thursday, Friday, over the weekend, you start talking about it. It still gives you what you need. Because like realistically, who are you marketing to? Whoever's going to be there is going to be there.
That's fair. No, I respect that take. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Maybe I'm just eager. Maybe I just expected it. I've just, I've had some experience in the past with some of that stuff being out a little bit early.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. I don't know. Kind of surprised me a little bit.
I'm excited.
So, but Lou, you kind of hinted at it. And I think it's just it's a big topic we've got to talk about today. It's, Fanatics mentioned, or Fanatics announced their new company. What is it? Fanatics Events?
That's correct.
Fanatics Events, company coming out, trying to, a little bit of the article I read talked about how they're trying to basically bring like a Comic-Con type experience to sports cards. Lou kind of mentioned it earlier, but it sounds like this will be the biggest competitor to the National, potentially Mint, Industry Summit type things like that. Reading the article talks about how they would look to have event specific releases, event specific cards. I love it. I think it's a really cool idea if done right, but just wanted to get your guys' initial thoughts on, what it means.
Yeah, I mean, if I step back outside of cards, I've been talking a lot about post-COVID. We're 3 years out. My brain goes to the price of Taylor Swift and the price of Drake this weekend in a similar fashion as to why Fanatics going events makes so much sense. I believe that we are all craving for a balance to what we're doing right now. Virtual, spending time with people, Fortnite, Roblox. There's this absolute craving. It's why golf is going insane. It's why people are playing tennis. People are playing pickleball. I think there's just this need for us to re-commune and kind of gather. And I think that there's a lot of white space to do it in new ways, right? Running clubs are going crazy, like Top Golf, like all these things. I think because we went through such this period of shut off from experience and people and meeting new friends and all that stuff. So then I'm like, okay, boom. Fanatics just did in like a 5-day span. They threw, and the first one isn't Fanatics, but Ruben. They threw the biggest cultural celebrity gathering in the world in the White Party. They then turn around and go to NBA Summer League, NBA Con, first time ever, NBA Con summer thing at NBA Summer League, and they throw the Fanatics Summer League party. And then they turn around and go to MLB All-Star and
launch Fanatics Live and throw a party there.
Correct. And throw a party there. Right. And so as you start to see those things, like how does cards get in the mix with that? Well, you got the players. They're all also interested in these things. Think about packs at those parties for like VIPs and whatnot. And then you go to Dallas, the trail that you've been on, Shipshawana, this different show that you're in a pig barn somewhere in Idaho, like, and there's just a lot of opportunity in branding and getting people to these places. I mean, think about what Dallas Card Show meant for a period of time, and like barely had a functioning website. Right. And then you go to national and you're talking about 7 days out, who's centralizing the marketing, who's doing branding, who's providing the comms around that stuff. And then you think just about what Fanatics Inc. has across all those different form and functions, their tech team, their ticketing understanding, all those things. Right. And it just provides a real opportunity, not just to come in and say, we're going to do the national and 2, different shows a year, but like across all of culture, we can start to own big events, small events, what have you, and infuse our collectibles business. I think it makes a world of sense, and I think it's going to be a really fun time for all forms of hobbyists. Those that are collecting at a high level, only a couple pieces at high price points. Those that are kind of on the grind, month in, month out. So I'm excited about it, and I'm excited because I think it's going to lead to a lot of networking and meeting new people, similar to how Dallas did, and for me, and a lot of different things.
Yeah, it seems like a really. I don't really have a lot more to say off that. I mean, that's pretty well put. I think Fanatics has shown their ability to throw the coolest events in culture and in cards. So, in sports, like Fanatics is clearly ahead of the game in so many facets there. But I think the big thing is if this is a card space, that they're really trying to get into with shows and trying to grow with that, it seems like a really big way to grow the hobby. I can't think of anybody that could market this to the general public, the non-sports card collector, than Fanatics, at least in the space. I don't know anybody else that markets quite like they do. So it seems like a really good opportunity to grow the hobby. And I think, Ty, your point is right about, I think this is going to appeal to every different level of collector, not just, the high-end dealer that travels from show to show. This is really going to be for all entry points. So excited to see what it looks like and, how quickly they move on it. Obviously, Fanatics has got so many things going on with, acquiring PWCC and the distribution, the production, like everything Fanatics is in right now on top of this. Like it's crazy. So.
The headline said it all for me. Sports version of Comic-Con. So if you're going to create the sports version of Comic-Con, number one, that means to me we're going to have what amounts to a national at least 2 or 3 times a year in a world where Fanatics is running the show on that front. And I would like to see how that plays out in a world where everything isn't based around one event in the summer. I think that opens it up for way more people to attend if it's not as high a barrier to entry and there's multiple options throughout the year. So I think that's a massive net positive for everyone. And that is my only take.
Yeah.
I guess with like Comic-Con, so you got San Diego Comic-Con, you got New York Comic-Con, and then you got a million offshoot Comic-Cons probably around the world, and people that license the name and put it on themselves and all that. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think there's like 3 real ones, and there's like all the little mini ones. So if they're
before we kind of go into other segments, and we had a little what's on your mind just this morning, Ronnie Feig, who is the founder of Kith, which I think for I'll say 18 to 35-year-old male and female, coastal cultural relevance, cool factor is an absolute leading brand, and he's a name that's on everyone's radar in that consumption space. They just rolled out a collab with Marvel, and the whole a sneaker collab, and the whole thing is based around pretty much card collecting, down to the box, down to the sneakers come in wrappers. I don't think you even know. I didn't really watch the full video, but I think there's a limited edition that comes at random, and then it also comes with a slabbed PSA card that has a hit rate of like 1 in 36. And so just when I think about who's having combos, we've you remember the days 2.5, 3 years ago of like, oh man, this person posted about cards. We talked last week. I think Post Malone has been posting a bunch, and those things matter. Like this, Marvel and Kith Post Malone, Jack Harlow. Yeah, it's just a little moment this morning, just, cultural crossover between brands, Marvel, Kith, building something around sports cards, trading cards. It was a pretty cool moment to see, and everyone should check that out.
I thought it was cool. The whole thing was based around like the art of collecting, and that's the theme of everything about it. Like from like you're saying, like the box, the unwrapping, all that stuff. It's a cool release.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't heard much.
I think I
about it.
want them actually.
Yeah, right. What's you guys? Do you guys have a favorite superhero?
Probably
Or
Captain
Jay, you
America.
can put in the chat too. Say that again, right?
Probably Captain America.
I really liked the Flash when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I'd probably say the Flash. It's tough. That's a hard question. I don't like that.
It is. It really is a hard question. I think I have to go Wolverine.
Wolverine's a good one.
Yeah, you won't catch me saying that.
Like, you're not a Wolverine guy. Oh.
Super fair. Super fair.
Because
Iron Man 2 was the best movie, but the early X-Men movies, I feel like don't get enough love. They almost paved the way.
Today's 15 years since The Dark Knight dropped, and that's an all-time movie.
Right, that was
one of the best movies.
That was
of all
a
time.
monumental, game-changing movie.
So that was 15 years ago today.
What's funny, both Iron Man 2 and Dark Knight were the sequel. Like Dark Knight was a sequel.
Yeah.
And most people it was that good. Most people just never even watched the first one, and Dark Knight was just like this standalone epic.
What was the next one?
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises or Batman Rises? The one with Bane?
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad either.
Which
wasn't Dark Knight good, but
yeah. They also did a recasting in Dark Knight and didn't even tell anyone about it, and it kind of just plays like no one even talks about it.
Right? Is that why it was like a whole new thing? But it was
the like his like crush or whatever. What's her name is like a different actress. It's Maggie Gyllenhaal. In the first one, it was I forget who.
Yeah.
Well, she dies in the first one, right? And she gets blown up in the gas station.
No, that's in the second one. The first one.
Oh, okay. The very first one, not pre-Dark Knight. I thought you were talking about Dark Knight to Dark Knight Rises.
No.
Understood. Okay.
No.
Gotcha. Don't mean to spoil it for anybody 15 years later. But.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Katie Holmes is in Batman Begins, and then she's not in Dark Knight.
All right. So there's quite a bit of cards, or quite a bit of questions from a couple different card collectors here. So let's get to these. School of Card Knocks.
Oh, I like that.
Card markets are starting to pop off in Europe. Do you ever think a European show will match the national?
If Fanatics has something to do about it, I think that their investment. Look, I think global football is starting to be owned by predominantly American business people. AC Milan. Yep. Yeah, it's like Saudi versus America. AC Milan, by the way, might be everyone's favorite team soon. Yeah, they're kind of hot. I think I'm seeing
Captain America.
Where I was going with this is Fanatics Events, which we just talked about. Shout out my peeps at the London card show. To build that to national would be something crazy. It takes a lot of time. But footy collecting was definitely big, and I think Fanatics is pretty invested in it with the apparel and merchandise game. There are a lot of American business people that have their hands in certain collectibles business that also own clubs. I think there's something there. It might not get to the national level because everything's kind of bifurcated in Europe. Like France is like Texas, it's like, so you never really kind of are able to get something that grossly big,
sure.
comparatively, but there's definitely the culture there, and there's a lot of collecting going on.
Yeah, it seems hard to get it as big as the national, but it's not to say that it could never happen. I mean, as the market continues to, grow and evolve over there. Like Ty and I went, like it was a pretty good show. Like again, it's not the national, it's not even Dallas, but it was a great show run by good people. Like we enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Yeah, so I definitely think there will be bigger and bigger ones in time. It just again, those things take effort and planning and time and money and resources and a lot of things. So sounds like it might be a minute, but yeah, like Ty said, if Fanatics gets involved and market continues to expand over there, it's definitely not impossible.
Did you guys see the PSA Japan thing?
I heard about it.
They opened an office in Japan. They're taking submissions and everything in Japan. I wonder if do you think there's a better chance? Sorry, that was the third time I got there. Do you think there's a better chance of a big trading card show in Japan or Europe? I think Japan.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
There might already be one that I don't even know about.
There's this guy named David Horvath. I think that's his name, right? Founder of Ugly Dolls. He does this like blog about character building and what have you, and did something about stickers and this sticker brand called B-Side Label. And they have some crazy Pokemon stickers. So just
B-Side Label.
B-Side Label.
Huh.
It's like the Funko of stickers. So it's like they don't just make stickers, they make them in a certain way, and they get the license
and they're
put it through their
stickers.
thing, and it's like a real thing. Yeah. You see some of them?
I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah, the Pokemon ones are kind of hot.
They are kind of hot. I'm not gonna
They're kind of hot, right? They're kind of hot.
The Charmander one's kind of gas, and it's only $8. That's like kind of free.
Yep.
That's kind of free.
I agree.
So yeah, I know we got off the track there. I also wanted to mention that New Japan office for PSA because that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The Snorlax stickers.
I'm actually literally adding some to my card as we speak.
Yeah.
This is an interesting question. NF Cards 12. What NFL backup quarterback do you think the most people will be looking for?
NFL backup quarterback.
I might be wrong. I don't know if he's been named starter, but the Atlanta Falcons, Desmond Ridder.
He's the starter.
He's the starter. Mariota's officially the backup.
Mariota's on a different team.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mariota quit on the team towards the end of the year when he got benched.
That's true.
Nice. All right. So I mean,
Nice.
Ridder is now the starter, but 6 months ago was the backup that everyone knew. Yeah.
There's
Jake
two
was
very
gonna go
clear
there.
answers. There's two very obvious answers.
Jordan Dove isn't making it past week 3. Let's be real.
He's
Okay.
definitely making past week 3.
The real answer is Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
He's going to play for the 49ers. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's high on the list.
comeback.
I know Rye's going to be a hater on that, but it's a fact. And then you also got to watch out for Tyler Huntley because if Lamar gets hurt,
Wow.
if Lamar gets hurt again, that would be the guy who steps in. And they got a pretty good offense this year, supposedly.
Yeah, I think there's a couple situations I think of that are similar to that, Lou, that are like injury risks. Skylar Thompson comes to mind for the Dolphins.
Mike White.
Or Mike White, yeah, whoever it is down there backing up Tua, like whoever's going to be the second string in Miami. It's just, I would imagine Tua, like, I don't even think Tua should play. I've been very open about that. Like, so that's,
I don't think he'll be around for very long.
That seems like one. Whatever's going on in Tampa will be in demand. Like, are people going to take Trask or Baker? The Niners one is obviously a big deal. Like, will Purdy be ready? Will Lance play? Is Darnold the guy? Like, who is it there? And then I think of some of like the older guys, or some of the like unsure ones, like Derek Carr in New Orleans.
Jameis is the backup there.
Yeah, who's his backup? Who's the backup for the Rams? But I mean, I really don't think you'll see any. To be fair, like I don't think anybody will really be in like demand.
No.
Sam Darnold's not going to be flying off anyone's tables. Like I think the better question.
Unless I'm there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be who maybe is the best young or the hottest young selling guy, because that's where everybody's going to be speculating. It's not going to be buying which this backup or this backup. It's going to be, do you want Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett? Which one of those guys do you want?
Love Kenny.
So I know
Sean Clifford is going to have action. It's just
from you and all the Penn State psychos.
Listen, Penn State's just been ready to have a quarterback explode, and it only makes sense that it would be Sean Clifford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not the 5-star prospect Drew Aller coming up. Not him though.
Not
we still got a couple years there.
What's
run Run the Hackenberg clip.
He's a big fisher.
Is he actually?
Yeah, big outdoors guy.
Noel Sports Cards. Who is the best buy at the National in the NBA?
In the NBA?
Wow.
Maybe not best buy, just to edit this question a little bit. Like, who do you think will be the most popular? Who are people going to be after? Where's there going to be action?
Wait, can I go first?
Yes.
Yep.
I did the market report with Aaron a couple weeks ago. John Morant is hot.
Well,
did you guys know that?
He cooled off quite a bit.
No. He is hot.
No, I'm saying like a pullback like leads to
right, but now the pullback
growth.
is leading to a pull up, and it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Interesting. Well, he's got D Rose now.
He's got D Rose. And Marcus Smart, like that's the crew that's saving John Morant.
Yeah, Andy doesn't have Dylan Brooks.
Exactly. They cleared the man out.
That just blew my mind when I saw that. I forgot to tell you guys about that.
The Dylan Brooks 80 million?
No, well, yeah, but the John Morant being like a high selling card right now and like a moving up in price card.
I think, and look, Ryan, I'm always like, well, Ryan's just gonna know the answer. I think Chet Holmgren has some sneaky juice around him. You know,
Yeah.
I love the get to chill for look. I mean, he was hurt. I think you'd rather him have played, but to go through with a team, know your trainers, know your staff, build your like everything without the pressure of playing really reminds me of me qualifying for the club championship simply because I didn't know I was competing in it before I started. So, you know, the nerves aren't there, right? Like, I think Chet Holmgren's in a nice spot, you know, a little second-year rookie, and he's got a nice squad around him, some real talent there. Who else? Look, and Summer League, who's the dude that has been making it happen at Summer League? Something Junior. He hit the game winner.
Didn't watch a second of Summer League outside of
Which game winner?
Come on.
Isaiah Mobley was the MVP or whatever of the finals with the Rockets and Cavs. Cam Whitmore's on fire, was Summer League MVP for the Rockets.
Yep.
Was like 20th overall, the kid from Villanova. Max Christie looked pretty good for the Lakers.
Haven't given it to me yet.
Jabari Smith Jr., Rockets kid, number 2 or 3 pick last year.
Tall, skinny.
Yeah, tall, skinny kid from
Correct.
Auburn.
Him. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Jabari
That was the
Smith
kid
Jr.
you talked about last week when he said he's like, I'm 20, I'm still out here playing.
Yep. I like his game. I think there's something there with him, especially off that. And then those Thompson brothers, Overtime has its like own little like cult following.
Dude, they really do.
Yeah, they do.
There's like kids who love Overtime, so they're just huge Thompson Brothers fans.
Talking about what is it, Osser and Amon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Mikal Bridges?
Good.
I think he's a great player, stud. I just
what if the Nets get
Nets
Dame?
don't. I mean, look, I'm a Knicks fan, so
I know, but step outside yourself for 1 second.
I think they're a relevant team that's stuck in the shadow of Manhattan.
You named a Oklahoma City Thunder player.
Thunder kind of got juice.
The Thunder got juice.
The Thunder is smacky, bro.
But it's devastating for the Nets fans that if you say a Thunder player, they have more juice than a Nets player.
Ty, I think you're right about Chet. I really think Chet stuff will start to pick up steam going into the season. Like it happened with Blake Griffin, where Blake Griffin was out his rookie year, came back and won Rookie of the Year the second year. Like I think that like you said, he was out for injury, but like again, getting to know the trainers, working on your body, working on your game. I think there'll definitely be some hype around him. I think there's a lot of hype around that class, though. You know, Jabari, Banchero, Mathurin, Keegan Murray, Max Christie. Like I think you go down that list, and there's a couple guys that have been hot recently and hot, you know, obviously for throughout the entire season. Like Paolo's a star. Tie you out?
No, I'm good.
No,
I'm
you're
good.
chilling.
I'm good.
Gotcha.
People are going to be upset with me.
Eat it.
So yeah, I think Chet's one of the easy answers. I think the biggest unknown, the one I'm the most intrigued about, is Wemby. What are Wemby cards doing? Is there
They're going to be
action?
insane.
Like, is there really action on those? Are people really buying the ones he's got out now? Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see.
Is the easy answer Paolo?
I think he'll be popular. I think
That dude's
Chet
a beast.
I think Chet and Victor, the more the unknown guys, I think those guys will have more juice. Like Banchero is just a safe play. Like he's a star in the making.
Yeah, but at what point is like the safe play the right play? You know?
Yeah. Fair. I'm not here to argue that.
Not in national interest.
Yeah, you're right. That's not
Yeah.
the right move at that time. But I don't know.
No.
All right, Michael Estrada from Facebook says, first time attending collectors, what's the best approach as far as where do you recommend starting? I know there's exclusives and lines, so just wondering how each of you would go about it.
I think my answer has nothing to do with like some of the giveaways and lines portion, which seems he put that in there. Ryan, do you want to answer that part first? Like, the silver packs and some of the redemption stuff, like the redemptions, what have you. And then I'll kind of, or let Lou or whatever, just talk about just like general attendance and thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things we try to go into it each year is like, you have to prioritize what's important, right? If grading with PSA or Beckett is important, those lines get busy quick. If getting whatever Topps or Panini's exclusive packs are, like those are typically pretty quick. The thing about it now, though, is a lot of those companies have designated times where those things happen. So like Panini back in the day, you used to be able to just go get in line. Like I remember in Baltimore back in the day, like I saw people get trampled coming in to go to Topps booth to get Steven Strasburg's like rookie card. Like I watched it, like it was madness, right?
What a funny thing to say.
Yeah, so like now they have like Panini might do silver packs at like noon. So if the show opens at 9, some people will wait in line at noon for sure, but the line probably forms at 10:30, 11. Like that's when the line starts to build. So it allows you to be able to like do a little bit more early. Beckett's typically open like right when the door opens. So those lines get very, very busy very, very quickly. So I think a lot of it is just basically prioritizing what is important to you. If you're like, hey, I'm not going to grade any cards at the show, I'm not getting any autograph signers, and I only want to do Panini silver packs one day, I'm going for 3. Then I think it's less of a priority. If you're like, hey, I'm going to be there Wednesday for sneak peek, I've got to get this card graded, you should be in line the second they open that door. So again, it depends on like what you're trying to accomplish at the show.
I've learned my lesson, and I will be going to the PSA booth the moment I walk in the door on Tuesday.
To get cards graded?
Yeah. I will not be messing that up again. 2 years in a row I messed it up. I will not be messing it up again.
My advice generally would be find a way to stay calm. And what I mean by that is you walk into that place and everything you could have ever dreamed of wanting as a sports collector or interest in sports is going to be in your face, and you're going to walk up to the first thing and want to buy the first thing that comes to your mind and that you see. And I would say spend time just getting an understanding of the layout, walk the floor, see different displays, see some different cards, keep a running list, notice who you're talking to, where certain cards are so that you don't forget, but really try to just gather data rather than because you can walk in and spend $150 in 2 seconds on a card, and then 2 minutes later you're walking down and you might see the same card 20% less, or another card priced the exact same that you want that much more, but you're so excited in that opening moment. So as much, I would just say the energy runs very high within the building. It's palpable. People want to do deals. People want to transact. There's so much good stuff, whether it's bats, baseballs, helmets, jerseys, bobbleheads, outside of cards that randomly I find myself leaving with. So I would just say try and take a breath and really get grounded in the space, understanding of what's happening around you before you kind of strike on any sort of transactions.
Yeah, and I will give a shameless self-plug here. After going to the National for so many years, we've got content on our YouTube page about what to expect for the National, like tips and tricks. There's so many different videos we've done. And Ty, it brings up a good point because, like, that is, if you've never been to the show, the biggest thing is you'll walk in the room. It's 500,000 continuous square feet of anything cards and collectibles. You walk in there, and the first thing is you're overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, there's a Babe Ruth jersey right here. Oh my goodness, there's Lou Janu from Card Talk. Like, you walk in, and
They do say that.
It's immediately overwhelming. And I think that's important, is like, you can go here, here, here. Like, it's so easy to get so flustered so quickly. So having an idea of what you want to accomplish is a really good thing. Again, there's a lot of tips and tricks on, like, taking a photo of the booth so you know where the card's at. But one of the things I will say is, if there's a card you've never seen, you need it for your PC, you really, really want it, there's a lot more people at that show than anywhere else. That card might never be online again. That card might not be available again. If it's something super unique and it's for your PC, I will tell you, there are definitely cards I regret not purchasing that I missed out on later that I wish I would have just bought and been like, cool, this is it. I think Ty's point about this guy might have a card 20% less. Well, that might be true for a card like, a Patty Mahomes rookie PSA 10 that there's a couple of, but a one of your favorite PC player may not become available again. So walking away may, you just got to be willing to let that card walk completely. So, yeah, again, I think the big thing is, know it's overwhelming. Know you will be overwhelmed the second you get there, and understand what you want to accomplish, and then build your plan around that.
Yeah, you have to have, like, the ability to take like Tyler is saying, take a second and relax and be like, all right, is this card going to be hard to find in an hour and a half or not? If it is, I'll probably just buy it now.
Yeah, agreed. This is a good question. I'm looking forward to your answers on this. Jason Schieffer from Facebook. What do you each find the most overrated and underrated things about the National?
Oh,
Also,
man, most overrated.
Does it irk you that people call it Nationals?
Oh, yes. That might be the most annoying thing. I hate that.
Why? That's so stupid. The National, who cares? When Fanatics takes over, there's going to be Nationals. There'll be multiple. So we might as well.
Yeah, but you're going to the National.
Yeah. I get it. I'm not actually trying to call it Nationals, but I'm trying to call it the National. But I'm like, is it really that big of a deal?
You're just saying, like, I don't mind saying things wrong. That's what you're saying.
That thing. I don't say like I go to Walmart.
Same thing. Okay, most overrated thing. I just don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
How do you hurt people's feelings?
Because I have a very obvious one, but I know that people like it, so I don't want to say it.
What is it?
No.
Trade night?
No, I actually like trade night.
I
don't know. Nothing that comes to mind that's overrated.
Okay. Well, it's not. I mean,
I got one for
overrated. It has to be. Yeah, it has to be like a big deal.
Underrated is show exclusive cards.
Lou,
are you gonna say overrated? let's debate this. Let's have this conversation. I want to have this conversation. Why?
What about a card that has the National logo on it makes it cooler to you than a regular card?
Where else can you get it?
Just because it has it doesn't mean it's interesting.
Yeah, sure. It's rare.
It's rare, it's rare because no one wants it.
No, it's rare because it's the only place on earth you can get it.
Yeah. Again, this is why I don't want to do this, because I don't want to be the guy who's hating on show exclusive cards. So I'm not going to do it.
No, I like it. I mean, it's different. Makes it fun.
It just seems like a thing that everyone gets really excited about, and then you never hear about it again until it's the next year's show, and then everyone wants the next year's.
I respect that. I don't think every single thing is of value and everything maintains. But in a world where sports card production is at an all-time high and there's lots of different places to get sports cards, I think the idea of getting something that you could only get once a year at one particular place that you had to be at to get, I think that makes it unique and drives
I guess maybe it's the how they do it, because if they had what's the Chicago logo, like the flag with the blue and the white and the red? Like if they made parallels that were just like the Chicago parallel that was only available there, that I'd be interested in. But when they take like a Bowman Chrome and they slap a national logo on it, I'm like, meh.
Yeah, agreed. I wish there was more effort. Like there wasn't necessarily a base. There was more like prism parallels or like refractors. Like they were more unique. But yeah, I think a lot of people sleep on them because they're so interested in buying and selling other. Again, remember the play from last year? It was like Sports Card Fan bought all those Topps jumbo boxes, sold the packs. Like there's potential. Like again, I realize it's not for everybody, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I think
I'm gonna
they're
get
cool.
I'm gonna get yelled at for that.
No,
People are gonna be mad at me.
no, I think it's cool. Ty, anything come to mind?
Underrated is the amount of footy cards available and general footy chatter that occurs. Overrated is the amount of baseball stuff.
It's the most collected thing, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like I know, and it like
I could
it's
do
like
without
it's
the
like it's like a
tables of-
baseball show. Like at the end of the day, its origination was a baseball show because that's what really was the only thing that people collected. This phenomenon of the NBA is not that old, and then you got even footy on top of that. Like an MLS team was worth $35 million in 07, which is essentially pennies. So it's essentially a baseball show, especially you're in Chicago. Like,
Is Messi gonna play?
yeah, Messi's playing.
When?
What do you mean? He's playing, I think, tomorrow.
Are you sure?
He practiced today. I think he
All right,
plays
good.
tomorrow.
It's been I feel like it's been like 2 months, and I haven't
He
seen him
just
play
got
soccer.
unveiled. He just got his jersey.
What do you mean
last
unveiled?
night.
He's
He had to get announced.
unveiled.
I mean, he's playing in a cup match.
I don't know about this, Rye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I know what you're saying for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it a footy show. So underrated is the amount of footy chatter. Overrated is all the baseball stuff.
I could do without the tables and tables of white boxes of just like 1964 tops. I'll say that.
And like random baseballs. Just like baseballs everywhere.
Random baseball.
It's like this baseball isn't even signed. It's just a baseball. I'm like, I don't want it.
This was used in a 1974 AL.
Like a backyard game that Nolan Ryan showed up to.
All right, one last question because we got to get on to play of the week. This is an interesting one, and I'll have a follow-up question to this. But Swedish underscore card collector says, Hi card talk. Hope all is good. I want to ask a question regarding the national and also for advice. I'm traveling over from Sweden to be on my first national trip. Looking forward to a lot of the experiences. But my question is, I'm trying to sell a very high-end card, an Othani Red rookie auto. Do you have any advice on what the best way to do that is?
Haven't we met this guy?
I don't know, but that is a monster card.
I believe we met this person, unless he sold it. And
I love it.
Person.
My Swedish brethren, maybe coming over from Malmo. Rye, I feel like I can give thoughts, but I feel like you should answer this question.
Yeah, this is a very tough very tough question to answer. I don't know Ohtani's market well enough, but my guess is this card is insane. Like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like
what release is it? Is it it's his Bowman?
It just says red rookie refractor auto. So if it's the first thing that goes to my head is a Bowman Chrome rookie red auto out of 5, which would be like a top 10 Ohtani card in existence. So yeah, I mean, a couple different ways. What I'm probably doing is I'm probably talking to some sort of consignment person. That's where I'm going to start. I'm going to see if they're willing to give me a cash advance on that card. If I can negotiate my buyer's
on up to the golden
buyer's premium fee. I'm going to shop it around at all big auction houses and see who will give me the best offer to leave my 6 or 7 figure fortune with them. There's every good news is they're all there and they all want cool cards, and they're probably willing to give you a really good deal to drop it off, especially for a guy like Ohtani. Little color match goes into my second question, which I'll get here in a second. But Ohtani might also be moved during the National.
That would be wild.
So Ohtani is going to be, I think Ohtani will be a very hot commodity at the show.
The old Matt Stafford in Dallas play?
People forget about that. Very similar scale, those two players.
Yeah.
Didn't Jay buy a Stafford off the news in Dallas?
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, that would be my thought. Is I would start with the consignment teams, the companies, and I would see what you could get. And again, it depends on are you willing to sell it to somebody there for less to get all of it today, or do you want to maximize your dollar and get paid all of it later? I think there's a lot that goes into that. But good news is there's a lot of big time buyers there who have a lot of money, and there's all of the consignment companies who sell cards will all be there if they value their business. I would go up to all of them and I just say, hey, I'd have this, want to know what you'd give me to sell it, and produce buyers premiums, cash advances, top of the line marketing. Yeah, you start with the big ones and see where you get. That's probably what I would do.
But also come by our booth
and show it to us,
so we can do a little content together before you drop it off.
Yeah, that's true.
I do think an interesting thing, and again, I didn't get your guys' thoughts on this, but
what's your follow-up question?
The idea of Ohtani being moved at the National sounds like, am I crazy to think that would be absolute madness at that show?
It would be a big deal.
It would be.
It would depend on where he went.
Would it though?
It would.
Really?
I don't think he's going anywhere that wouldn't be interesting.
Well, he's interesting, so automatically. But yeah,
he's going to be a Yankee.
No, he's not.
My favorite. This is the best.
I would bet you anything on that. He's not. He's going to be a Met or a Dodger.
He's not going to the Mets, bro.
They're the favorites, so say what you want.
He's not going to the Mets.
It's like when Katie went to the Nets. Same thing.
He didn't come to America to play for the B-side New York team.
He came to America to play for the Angels.
I don't think that was his choice, was it?
The Yankees and the Red Sox.
What do you mean?
Ty, the Yankees and the Red Sox didn't even make his initial list when he first came over.
Yeah, the Yankees are a joke. They're in third place. Why would he go to the Yankees?
We're talking about global brand here. Okay.
Yes, like the Angels.
The Mets are doing really much better. They've really proved that they can really.
They're on the same level.
They can figure something out.
Who has a better record, the Mets or the Yankees?
That's irrelevant. When you walk down the street in any country in the world and you say, who is the star? What's the team that you should play for in baseball? There's one answer. There's a single answer. It's the New York Yankees.
And if you ask those same people,
really
they would also probably tell you the Dallas Cowboys are the football team. And how's that working out?
I don't know. For stars, it works out pretty well.
And the Knicks. They would say go to the Knicks, too, if you played in the NBA.
No, they wouldn't. They would say go to the Lakers.
What would they have said 10 years ago?
The Lakers or the Celtics.
I've never seen Tyler degrade Madison Square Garden like this. So you're telling me that people...
I'm saying around the world, the Knicks aren't like that much different than the Yankees or than the Lakers, the Celtics, not the Heat. It's the Lakers and Celtics and Knicks. The Yankees are the clear number one global brand.
I disagree with that, but that's fine.
Producer fact check time, because you guys want me to do this from time to time. Lou, you were wrong. The Yankees are not in third place. They are in last place in their division.
Oh, sorry.
That said, as much as I enjoy pointing that out, they have a significantly better record than the Mets. The Mets are 7 games under 500, and the Yankees are 5 games over.
And how much bigger is the Mets payroll?
It's like the same.
That's
like 1 and 2.
Don't be a Yankee fan throwing around payroll. That's just crazy.
Just saying. It's the argument that everyone uses on the Yankees for your, to down the Yankees for years.
Whoa, beep.
I didn't beep. Keep it moving. We got to do play of the week.
All right, let's get into play of the week. Shout out to everybody for the questions. A lot of good ones. Obviously can't get to them all, but we'll maybe get to some of those on IG stories this week.
What is happening here?
Love it. Futera World Cup cricket is my type of play.
This is wild. We've never had a cricket play. This is from Collect Sports Cards. Play of the week submission. I bought 2 raw Sachin Tendulkar cards in
That was a good
2021
job, Bri.
from Australia for a total of 140 Australian dollars. It's about 94 USD. Shipped to me in Sweden. He is arguably the greatest cricket player of all time and hardly has any cards. Got him graded earlier this year and got a PSA 10 and 9. Listed them shortly after they'd been sent. They'd been sat on eBay for a while, and I randomly got great offers on each of them last week from different buyers. They sold for $900 and $475 respectively. After grading and eBay fees, I netted $1,000 profit. They had been in my cabinet for a couple years until I decided to dust them off and get them graded. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That's insane.
I Googled best cricketers of all time, and he was number 1 on the list.
Tour de France.
He's had these cards since 2021. They're from 1996.
Who on a whim is just buying cricket cards and sticking them in a drawer for a year and a half?
I like to play.
I love the move. It's just wild. Kind of makes me want to look up the other player, the other cricketers, and see what I can find.
Yeah, heck of a play.
Love it. Collect.
Didn't even know these existed.
Me
Jay,
either.
what's next? Hey, real quick, shout out though. Jay, go back real quick. Shout out the profile pic. That's like Lewis Hamilton, World on Wheels. I think that's the Super Fractor.
Looks like it.
Sneaky card. Love that card.
Nice.
All right, this is from Narca. It says, once the news hit of Porzingis being traded to the Celtics, I looked on eBay to find what was out there. Saw he was being bought up. I looked over at another less popular selling app and saw some old listings. I bought 3 cards for around 100 each, a patch auto, an on-card auto, and a sticker auto. I didn't feel good about the sticker auto pickup at 100 and thought the trade hype got to me. A week later, I go to a local show in the Boston area and bring the sticker hoops auto, and I got an offer of $250 from a table. Took it instantly, making that profit of $155. I'm going to hold the other 2 cards and keep them in my Celtics PC. Wow.
Smart.
Zinger's having it's like a little Sam Darnold, like
a revibrance in the career.
Yeah, like he was like a big piece in that trade. Like Celtics wanted the man.
Well, he's almost like he got so overrated. He went back under the radar.
Correct. And
he went to Washington and everyone forgot about him. Yeah,
totally. And I think he played good ball there. I got AJV, a Kristaps Porzingis rookie card for his birthday when they first drafted him. We were so jacked up about the unicorn.
You got him a rookie card in 2015?
Was that Zinger's rookie year? Yeah, I think so.
15, 16.
Yeah.
So you were earlier than we thought.
Yeah, well, I was like, these guys like cards. Like, let me make a play and get this dude a card. Yeah, I will say, I think I got him raw, and I think like,
and you definitely got smoked.
And it was like not the card I should have got, like, you know. But yeah, made the play. I think it was like thanks.
All right, what's next, Jay? This is from Mac_card collection. He says, was driving down to meet family in South Carolina for the 4th, so thought I'd stop at a shop along the way. Been doing a lot more buying for eBay recently, so I spent an hour going through their dollar bins. I was flipping through the basketball cards, and I came across an 85 Star Larry Bird Crunch and Munch in really good shape. Didn't know the exact value, but knew that it was worth way more than $1. I regularly find people place value 80s and 90s stuff in boxes, assuming it's all junk wax. Long story short, got it up on eBay the next day and sold the same card, and sold that exact same card for $75 within 24 hours, a 75x return. Could have probably graded it and made a couple of $100, but I'll take the quick flips in it any day. Regardless of whether you pick my story or not, I want to say that I'm a big fan of the pod, and it was actually the first one I started listening to when I got back into the hobby a few years ago. Keep up the great content.
Shout out Mac.
Shout out Mac. Looking
for
good
sure.
in that pick.
Also love a 75x. That's funny.
I love a Crunch and Munch.
Never had.
Crunch and Munch?
Mm-mm.
Heck of a play. Love a good dollar box. You guys know I'm a sucker for dollar box play.
Always.
Oh, you've had Crunch and Munch.
I just looked it up. I have not.
Like It's like a knockoff Cracker Jack.
Yeah, I love those. I've never had it. I think it's a 7-Eleven though. Anyway, back to Mac. Love it.
Jay, is that it this week? Oh, we got another one. Wow.
Who is this guy? Drew Thorpe.
All right, this is a long one, so buckle
Yeah,
in.
we'll go fast.
Hey guys, longtime listener, excited to submit my first play of the week. This might be a longer read, but the Baseball Bum and Chrome fans will appreciate it. Every day, I follow a daily minor league baseball thread on the Blowout forums that posts throughout the day's slate of minor leagues games, every prospect's home run, pitching stat line, promotions, or notable performance.
What is that website on the Blowout forum?
The hobby stigma has been to avoid pitchers like the plague, but there was one pitcher I noticed was putting up monster lines but getting no buzz. Drew Thorpe of the Yankees. He's a 22-year-old with a second-round pitcher in high A out of college, so I could see why there wasn't much hype there. But after the recent success of later-round college guys like Strider, Bryce Miller, Abbott, etc., I was definitely intrigued at his buy-in price. On June 24th, I picked up a True Gold Auto on eBay for $90. He continued to dominate, and I was interested in picking up more, which came in the form of a True Red out of 5, PSA 9, that walked up to me in a show in Edwardsville, Illinois. The Red had zero sales history, so we had next to nothing to go off. I offered the seller $350 for the Red and eventually settled at $375. Threw the Gold and Red on eBay the following week. Sold the pair for $175 and $750 respectively. This past Thursday, after fees and all, I netted $750 for the pair. Good for a quick $285 profit. May use the proceeds to buy a True Blue Auto to hold. Keep up the good work, crew, and congrats, Ryan. Well, appreciate the kind words. What a play.
I think this kid's like a legend. I'm looking at his stats.
Who, Drew Thorpe?
Yeah. He gave up 1 run in the entire month of June. He had 34 strikeouts. In a month, he gave up 1 run. 28 innings. He had 34 strikeouts in June. Who is this kid? This is incredible work. This is like why you read that blog, for this exact reason, to find this exact play.
Yeah, that's good work.
Put in the work. Doing the homework.
Dude, he's doing like in July, 5 innings, 8 Ks, 7 innings, 7 Ks, 7 innings, 10 Ks. Like, this kid is insane.
You want to run back through?
Yeah. Quick. I think it's collect, though. How can we not pick a cricket card?
Yeah, I mean, I love
the cricket card.
I love the Yankees prospect one. I love doing the work. I really like that. But
yeah.
But the cricket one, I think, is the winner.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I agree.
So, shout out to everybody for the plays. That was cool. There were some good plays this week. Let me get up latest launch. Pull up some of the new product this week. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks here with some products coming out the week of the National as well. We're going to start getting some bigger things out here very, very soon. This week, though, you got Leaf of Vibrance Multi-Sport. It's an expensive product from Leaf. Chronicles of Basketball, Impeccable Soccer, Upper Deck Marvel Beginnings, Leaf Superlative Sports, Prism Baseball, Select UFC. So couple solid products this week. You're getting more next week, including Chrome Baseball, Major League Soccer, Metal Universe Champions, Legacy Football, Select Draft Picks Football, Select WWE, all the week of the National. So next couple weeks here, you're gonna have some really good product during the the biggest card show in the world, or leading up to the biggest card show in the world. So excited for that. But
yep,
that's all I got.
Peace and love.
Shout out to everybody for listening.
Appreciate y'all. See you at the National.